The Chicago Bears have officially clinched the number 1 pick in the draft. But the fans were chanting, "We want Fields, man," after they beat the Falcons 37-17. The fan base, so from what I've seen, yeah, they were chanting, "We want Fields," but online and everything, like the fan base seems so different. Like some of them really believe in Fields and want Fields as their quarterback for the future, but a lot of them are saying, "Let's just be over with this." I'll go first on this since
Pete, bro. Fucking Christ. Go ahead.
I'll go first with this since I have the floor right now. The question I'm posing is obviously, do they go with a quarterback? Do they take Marvin Harrison, or do they trade down? And well, they would still probably get Harrison in that case if they traded down.
It depends on how far you trade down, bro.
Yeah, I'm saying if they trade down to like 3, they're probably still going to end up with Marvin. Maybe not.
All I know is if the Patriots have Drake May on the board, the Patriots are taking Drake May.
Right. Yeah. Or do you ride with Fields? And personally, I think it's time to move on. That's not to say that I think Fields is cooked. I think he's done. I think Fields, there's legit talent there, and there is legit potential there. My thing is, why are you going to take 2 more years of Justin Fields if you're not fully 100% sure that he's your guy? If the Bears are here saying, "This is our guy, this is who we want," even if we think they're wrong, if they're fully behind him and supporting him, then you ride it out. You stick with your gut. I get that. They're not doing that. They're not behind him 100%. So why are you going to take 2 more years before you have to pay him a bunch of money, and then maybe he's not your guy when you have 2 potential Hall of Fame level quarterbacks? Like, that's the hype that these guys are getting in this draft class, and get 4 or 5 years of them and build a team around them. A team that's starting to come together in the past few weeks. Their defense has been awesome since getting Montez Sweat.
Yeah, bro.
But yeah, I think just tear it down a little bit. Lose Fields, get Caleb, get Drake, get whoever you think is the better guy.
Get Michael Penix.
Sure, fuck it.
But not that.
Get shit.
Not that.
Sanders.
He ain't declaring.
No. And also I don't think Eberflus is the guy. I don't think he's terrible, but I don't think he's quite their guy. But their defense has been a lot better. So yeah, I'd say move on from Fields. I hope Fields gets a shot somewhere else though, because like I said, that kid has legit talent. Was an absolute monster in college, but still, even in the NFL, shows signs of real potential. And I hope he gets a shot somewhere else, but I don't think it should be Chicago.
Man, it's tough, bro.
What?
It's really tough because I like Justin Fields a lot.
Yeah.
And he hasn't been great. He hasn't shown to be a top 10 quarterback. But he's been better. We got to remember he also missed time this year with injury. And what was supposed to be his breakout year, he missed, 4 or 5 games with injury, if I'm not mistaken. That's obviously going to, in a year where everyone's projecting you to take your
3, but yeah.
Whatever it is, in the middle of the year, you have to miss some games in the year you're supposed to break out. That's going to...
And you're fighting for your job.
Right.
And you know it.
Yeah,
you know it, by the way.
It's going to take a hit, but... I mean, has he done everything he was asked to do for the most part?
No.
No? You don't think so?
Not at all.
What was what was your checklist for Justin Fields?
Show more consistent flashes as a passer.
He hasn't done
early
that
season
yet?
It was atrocious. And as much as we may want to give him a pass, we can, sure. But recently, has it been better? Yeah, but there's
a lot to clean up.
Yes.
Shit ton
and
to
it's
clean up.
year 3.
Yeah.
That is where I stand with that.
That's the thing, because...
No, the checklist is not complete.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean...
And
it kind of seems like a no-brainer question. Kind of seems like a no-brainer. Because, like you said, he hasn't shown enough consistent flashes as a passer. I agree with that. He's shown me some flashes as a football player because of his rushing upside.
Yeah.
And some flashes that he could be a really special, dynamic talent for sure. But he hasn't shown enough flashes as a passer. And you have 2 guys who are going to come in and immediately be better
Yeah.
passers than him. And I mean, hate to be that guy, but what's the most important part of a quarterback? Your ability to
Throwing the
pass the
football,
pigskin.
yep.
Yeah. So
Ask
that
Lamar.
matters. And then
God bless.
Bless you.
then there's these two angles to look at it from a roster building GM
I knew.
standpoint.
Yes, this is what I was gonna say.
So there's one angle where it's all right. Justin Fields hasn't shown me that much. He hasn't shown me enough. He's going to be due for an extension soon. Why would we pay this guy when we could get
Yeah.
a rookie on a rookie contract? And then that gives us more roster flexibility to build around said rookie quarterback, whether it's Caleb or Drake. But then there's this other flip side of things
Yep.
where it's like, okay, yeah, I'll have to pay Fields in a year, but look at what we got for the number 1 pick last year,
and you're getting more.
and look what we could get for the number 1 pick this year. And then if we go that route and we keep Fields, and now we trade for more draft capital or another DJ Moore and draft capital, not a receiver, but you know what I mean, like a young
High-level player, yes.
high level player, right? To add to that young core, which you just got Montez Sweat to add to that core too. You have Jalen Johnson having his breakout season. You have those young linebackers who you paid this offseason. You know, you're building something.
Yeah.
You're already building something. I know everyone likes to clown the Bears, but you know, I'm not going to say they're doing a great job at their rebuild, but they're doing better than some other teams
Yes,
have
that's for
in
sure.
the past. So you're building something, and then you could get this haul of picks and young players, and like, let's keep it a buck, man. The haul for the number 1 overall pick versus the haul for Justin Fields. What's going to get you more?
For sure.
So then it's like, what's the? It's such an That's why I was so excited for this topic, because it's such an interesting conversation. Because it's like, well, which trade off are we gonna pick? Like, which one helps? Do we, put more salary cap into retaining Justin Fields in a year for the extra assets to build the roster around him, or do we go for the route of, we have more salary and we have a young, probably better quarterback in Caleb Williams, but we don't have the draft capital and the young players. So our roster, you still have a good plethora of young talent too, and draft picks from the trade last year, even if you go the Caleb Williams route. But the roster construction from that point forward becomes a lot of free agency signing and older players. So it's just two very different routes of not just who's your quarterback of the future, but how are you going to build your team for the future, and what type of players are you going to put around these two quarterbacks. And, after going on that round and just explaining to you guys what you guys probably already knew and you didn't really need an explanation of, but I'd probably go with the Justin Fields route. I know that Caleb Williams on a rookie contract is probably with contract included in the context, might be the most valuable player in the NFL once he gets to the NFL. Having that guy on that contract for 4 years is so extremely valuable. But man, I think getting an extra first round
I'll
pick.
be dead honest with you. The price is going to start something similar to 3 first round.
Yeah, an extra 2 or 3 first round picks, a few seconds and thirds in there. Maybe
that's where it's starting. Yeah,
maybe another young established player. I don't know who that would be. I can't think of any names right now of who would trade for that pick. But
I'm just throwing something out there. What if the Raiders came calling and said, like, we'll give you 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and Devontae Adams? What do you do? What do you do? Like,
or Max
what the hell do
Crosby.
you do? Jesus
Imagine.
Christ.
Put Max Crosby and Montez Sweat. You have Justin Fields, and then you could draft
God.
receivers and skill position players.
I don't know what their cap situation
So
look like, but
it's right now their cap situation is super clean.
Yeah.
right, yeah.
They're gonna have the most cap space, I think. Going
So that's
into
what I was
next
thinking. I
season.
didn't know if they could trade for like that kind of player and then go sign like, not if they get Crosby and then go sign like T Higgins or something like that.
They have
put
the
another receiver.
flexibility
That's
to
what I'm
pretty
saying.
much do
Do whatever
whatever
the
they
fuck
want.
they
Yeah,
right
that's,
now.
yeah.
All I know, your first order of business is signing Jalen Johnson to an extension.
My boy.
Anyways, where I stand, and I'm glad you gave the full breakdown of everything. Where I stand on this, even given all the first round picks that you can get, given all the assets you can get, the Justin Fields experiment did not work. And that's okay. I'm not saying that it's not going to work somewhere else, but Chicago, you're done with him. He is not your quarterback now. And that is clear. Stop extending it. I understand what you could get back, but you already got a haul for the first overall pick. You already did that. You don't need to go do that again. You have a defense that's balling the fuck out at the current moment, so you know, okay, we can add a couple pieces through free agency here. We have an offense that already has an alpha dog number one. We have a very capable tight end that's signed to an extension. Running back, you can always figure out. Get the guy. And we all have been looking at Caleb Williams all draft season as one of the greatest quarterback prospects we've ever seen in our lives.
People are forgetting.
Yeah,
Exactly.
People are forgetting.
You all
Completely
have
agree.
to comprehend that while, yes, there was a lot of shit that happened at USC that, you know, can be pinned on Caleb Williams at times. The turnover problems, for sure. The amount of sacks that he took, for sure. But guess what? USC was not a good football team. And I don't know if a lot of people are really fully understanding that. USC was not a good football team. USC was a good football team, not in spite of Caleb Williams, because of Caleb Williams. You go get a guy like Caleb Williams. You pair him with an offensive coordinator that you hopefully can hire. If you do fire Matt Eberflus, if that is the route that you take, which I don't hate because offensive coaches, you know, they're the thing in the league now. That's the way to go. Superstar quarterback or an offensive coach or both. You go get Ben Johnson, you pair him with Caleb Williams. Perfect. Perfection. Because I guarantee you right now, Ben Johnson ain't going to take that Carolina job because nobody wants it. Nobody wants it anymore. I can guarantee you the Chargers ain't going to go for him because they will put everything possible into going for Jim Harbaugh right now. I'll tell you that. So you go get Ben Johnson. You give him whatever he wants at this point. Maybe not $15 million, which I heard was what he was asking for, which is crazy. But you go get Ben Johnson. You draft Caleb Williams with the first overall pick. You still have, what's the other pick? Like the 7th, 8th? Not whatever it is. Regardless, you could get a very valuable wide receiver there to pair with the already alpha DJ Moore. And you have a great team in the making. You re-sign Jalen Johnson. You get a couple other pieces on defense. And you have a great team come next year, come the following year. And you have a guy that's in his second year on a rookie scale contract now too. That makes a massive difference as well. Who very well could be a superstar by year 2. So trade Justin Fields for an extra second-round pick because I guarantee you someone will pony up for Justin Fields, and you go from there. I think without question the Bears would be making a legitimate mistake. Of course, a lot of draft capital in it, but I think you'd be making a legitimate mistake if you don't go and get Caleb Williams. He's him.
Yeah.
He's so him.
Yeah, I think from a GM standpoint, if you, let's say you keep Fields, even though, like I said, you're not 100% confident in him being the guy, you keep Fields and it's the same old Fields next year. Then you see Caleb get drafted and be Caleb Williams.
Maybe it's Drake. Maybe you prefer Drake.
Drake, Caleb, whatever. You see them go out and be those guys, and you get the same old Fields, and he doesn't take the leap you want him to. That's your job. Like you're losing your job.
You're done.
You're losing your job.
Yep.
So I just think even if you ship Fields off, and he ends up balling out and being the Justin Fields that was drafted number 2, I think you live with that when you have the number 1 quarterback prospect we've seen in years.
As a GM, you also have to look at it as if I draft this quarterback, I've now bought myself 2 years.
Yeah, exactly.
I've now bought myself 2 years.
Yeah, that's
because I'm not
point.
getting fired because this guy is tied to me. So we have to give it 2 years to see if it works out before we can officially fire this guy.
Right. And I just think I don't like
Fields
I said,
Fields is not there.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's all. And that's what you come out and say. You say, listen, that just wasn't happening here. Like that's, and you chalk it up and you live with it. But yeah, if you pass on the generational quarterback prospect, you're not gonna run from that. And I just, like I said, the whole thing of they haven't shown like they haven't fully expressed that Fields is their guy. I think it's weird to do it now. Like you took this long, and now you're gonna say, yeah, this is our guy. We don't want to look at any other quarterbacks. So that's just what I think.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Draft Caleb Williams, draft Drake May. Look, I'm even getting on the bandwagon of draft Michael Penix early. So yeah, that's kind of where I stand with all of this. I just it's done with for Fields in Chicago, in my personal opinion.
Where's he going? ATL?
Atlanta seems
That's
like the only
yes, that's the logical landing spot. Truthfully,
That'd be perfect.
it's really the logical landing spot. I don't know what other teams would make the most sense, but like
Teams that need quarterbacks. I mean, the Raiders ain't getting them.
no, Raiders.
Not going to the Steelers. Like,
No, absolutely not. You got to fit culture too.
yeah, exactly.
You got to fit offense. You got to fit culture.
Oh my god.
This is a crazy game. They were up 16. What the hell happened?
Oh my God. We're gonna see. We're about to wait.
Bro thought he was LeBron trying to make the right play and threw a turnover.
Who was it?
Steph
What did he do? What happened?
threw a turnover. They had the ball with 10 seconds left, and he just threw the. What do you need, Pete?
I need 3 pointers from Clay.
Oh,
And
so you need
wait,
overtime.
Need OT.
Pods did it already?
Did Pods get his rebounds?
Oh, I saw them live.
You did a lot
Oh.
of that. Oh my
So
God.
what's the live bet? Just 6 points from Klay
It
Thompson?
was Gordon
Bro, what was
for
Steph
30
doing?
points. I mean, 25
I think he
points.
panicked.
And then,
Yeah.
Clay for
Steph Curry panicked at the end of a
Bro,
late game.
look,
Yeah, we're
yeah, I
watching
mean-
the Warriors Nuggets games right now for everyone.
Yeah, we
watching.
already gave our whole Fields take right
Yeah.
there.